This meeting is being recorded. Alert. This meeting is being...
Shush.
They're both
Everybody's getting their messages.
microphone left parent, Realtek left parent, R right parent, audio right parent, and will now be used.
Okay. So it is April 26th, and we have all gathered for winter camp chat. And I don't know if we have any specific agenda today, other than Roger is out of town in Indiana. And so
Doing a remote cast.
there we go.
I don't know, David, do you want to open us up with a prayer?
Sure, Roger. All right, everybody. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the use of technology that we should gather together. Thank you for the nice weather that we've been having lately, even though it's a little cooler today. I pray that you would be with those that couldn't be here, and that we would have a good chat today. And I hope everyone would have a good rest of their week at your naming it.
Amen.
Jesse
Amen.
Bollinger has joined the meeting. Alert.
Hi, everybody. You've got both of us.
Oh, okay.
Super.
Yay!
Bye.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Jesse.
Yeah.
David, sorry.
You're fine. I know what you meant. You're welcome.
We're literally waiting on.
Well, it looks like
Listen
so
to...
I don't see anybody else signing into my on the call on my phone. Usually I get a message that people are signing in that if we haven't opened the meeting. So maybe maybe it worked this time that I got the right number out that everybody has programmed into their phones. And
I think the ones who have trouble tend to try and join us halfway through.
right. Oh, there's
Okay,
one.
who do we have?
313.
530-3670. I think. Say again.
Hi, this is Linda.
Linda Brown.
Linda Brown. Hi. Yep.
Hi, Linda.
Okay.
Hi there.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda.
Well, we have
Arthur
we have
Turner iPhone has joined the meeting. Alert.
there's Art Turner.
iPhone.
Welcome, Art.
All right. Almost a full house now.
Yeah.
Couple more.
Do we have a quorum? Do we have a quorum? That's what my Lions president always asks me. Do we have a quorum?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a board, so invalid.
We're not voting on anything. So
So Roger, what's on the agenda today?
well well, what would anybody like to talk about today?
Open agenda. I want
don't
to talk
have it.
about ending on time so that Roger can get back to his parties.
So we did, you and I did talk about trying to end about 1:45, I think, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So I have a question for Marcia. Marcia,
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to come to winter camp this year.
Marcia is currently muted. I can unmute her. Well, I can request to unmute. And then she can press the OK button.
All the audio now unmuted.
There we go.
I fell in December and I didn't think I hurt myself. In January, I started to hurt. I tore my rotator cuff.
Oh my goodness.
That's not good.
And so I've been doing physical therapy.
Well, I'm
So-
sorry that happened to you. We were
Yeah. And I
Did you get-
don't know if I'll end up in surgery or not, but it is what it is. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. And then my cottage was right smack in the dab of the ice storm up north.
Ooh.
And my daughter has one in the area and they set up, they have their own landscaping business and they sent up 12 workers to help do some cleanup. And then they sent up 4 more. They say it looks like a war zone there and it took them 2 to 3 days, 16 workers to clean up the trees.
Wow.
So
You know, that was, it's hard to imagine what that must have looked like.
my
we-
son-in-law, who is pretty knowledgeable, said it was far worse than what he expected to be walking into. Yeah, he said it was horrific.
So the day of the lion. Now, what day did that hit, Marcia? Can you?
I know it was a Sunday in March.
Right.
It was after my birthday, so
Well, it was. You know, we had a.
around the 9th, I think.
Okay. Well, they had. So the Lions Club, the district that we're in, 11B1, had their convention on the Saturday, the 28th, and
29.
and the two people that there were 2 people from the UP, an past international director, and they were at this convention and they said, well, we have to leave about 2:00 because there's an ice storm coming and we want to get back up there before it hits. And I think it was that next day or that evening that it actually hit. But it was,
Google says it hit between March 28th and 30th.
I think I remember hearing about it.
Okay.
right.
I was doing some,
So yeah, they were smart to leave.
I was
Otherwise,
doing
because I
some
guess the
training
bridge was
before.
closed. I mean, they closed the bridge
Of course,
for a
Just-
bit. I'm not sure how
just
long.
due to the winds and the visibility.
Right.
Right.
Got worse
Mhm.
before it got
Left
better.
pair and Realtek,
Yeah.
left pair and R right.
I have 2 brand new headsets and I have plugged them in and I don't know why they're not going into my,
Well, I hope that you don't end up in surgery, Marcia, but it's not
Me
the end of the
too.
world if you do. I had shoulder surgery last
On
October,
vacation from
and it actually July, and it wasn't too bad really.
okay.
So, and I've recovered nicely, and a few other people I know have recovered okay. But yeah, it's that was a good reason not to come to camp. We had a few people that had physical problems that couldn't end up coming. So, but we had a good time. And so I guess something else is,
vacation from
unless somebody has anything particular they'd like to talk about, I was going to ask if people have anything special that they're going to be doing this spring, or if they have any special activities that they like to do in the spring, like gardening or, you know, cleaning up the yard, things like that.
Well, as a gardener, I've been doing lots of garden cleanup over the last couple weeks. And man, it's a real wake up that I need to do more during the winter because my hips and legs are just so sore.
Mhm.
This is Rosemary. We're going to the Lions State Convention in Bay City here in May. So that's what we're doing.
Oh,
Okay.
Hey,
well,
Linda.
I'm also
Can we
going to
ask-
be oops.
Hey,
Go
Linda,
ahead.
can we ask you to move away from the TV or turn it
Oh,
down?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Okay.
No, wait, Art's already here, but Art's just joining. Someone's having technical difficulties
Arthur
today.
Johnson has joined the meeting alert.
Oh, he's on twice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Uh-huh.
Roger, you were saying?
So yeah, I'm going to be going to the winter camp, or I'm sorry, to the Bay City Convention as well with the winter camp table. I'll get a table and we'll have an ad in the booklet and that sort of thing, and hopefully get some. My goal is to try to get some people interested that will help
Arthur Turner has left the meeting alert.
support the camp.
Oh, okay.
Because we need some additional financial assistance because of the cost increase of the food and everything. So anyway, we're going to be working on we've had some people volunteer to be on like a fundraising committee to talk about doing some events to raise money towards winter camp. And so we'll see how that goes. We just we had a meeting early in March, and then Barry Allen went on vacation, so we had a few things we were talking about as far as winter camp. So he's back, so we're gonna get that kicked off. And so if any of you guys have ideas about events that we might do, fundraisers for winter camp, that would be wonderful.
Teacher, are you guys
I don't-
going to try to make it a state project at any point?
I know a lot of people think we should, but it's because it's like not like when you look at other state projects, and let's take Bear Lake Camp, for instance. Bear Lake Camp happens like all summer, and its camps are a week at a time. Eversight is like year round. Well, the All-State Band is sort of like it's almost a year-long thing because they recruit people and then they have to raise a lot of money to go to the international convention. I'm trying to think what the other state projects. There's like 5 of them. Penricton Center is like all the time, 24/7. Leader Dog.
But you're talking
24/7.
about how long it is, but what about the reach? We have
Right.
campers from many districts.
No, that
So-
would even
Mhm.
from out of state too.
True.
Yeah, so if you go by reach,
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's involved in getting it to be a state project, but I mean, that'd be great. Then people would be more motivated to contribute money. But that's
Well, maybe that's something to bring up to, to the international director or I don't know who's in charge of state stuff, but governors or whomever.
Council
see if they-
the Council of Governors.
Yeah, see if they've
probably.
been willing to consider, they're worth a try.
Yeah.
Because then we'd get support, from all the districts and instead of just, piecemeal.
Right. And that's what it is.
I also think that they should increase the amount of our admittance to winter camp.
Well, we've already done that, made it from 35, so what, 50 now?
It's 50 now.
50, I think so, sure.
And which is, I mean, for some people that's not a problem and they could probably afford more. But for others, it's kind of a reach still. So
Yep.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
So I would
don't
say
know.
that
I still think it would be fair if you did raise it to $50 because I think most people in our group are able to go to different restaurants when we have different meetings and all of that. So I just think it's a good idea, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Well,
it is already 50.
it is
so.
50. It is 50 now.
It's already 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just
Okay.
raised it. We just raised it last year. So I mean, not that we
2
would
years
never in the
ago.
future, but
Yeah, then it was-
that's. I'd rather not do that if we could help it. So
well, it's still well below market rate. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
It sure is.
I mean,
Well-
$50 is like if you go to a class, like nowadays you go to a painting class, a yoga class, and anything,
Mhm.
You're looking at $20 per session.
mhm.
And,
true.
maybe the flip side is if you raise it to say 75 or 100, then you just offer more financial support for those who
Mhm.
need it.
Right.
So then
Yeah.
those who
Sure.
can pay more.
And see, because we're fortunate
can-
with summer camp that we have a foundation that we can draw on that helps pay for,
Mm.
the camp stuff. So even if the cost goes up, we can still
Mhm.
maintain, a lesser fee for our participants. But Roger doesn't have that availability.
Yeah.
Right now we have the
Well, I mean, where else can you go for a whole weekend and just spend $50? I think it's just great. maybe
Hey,
eventually,
okay,
you
great.
know, we can think about raising it more.
But
So
the thing
the-
is, you gotta, excuse me, you gotta consider the people that are coming from out of state like me. There's no way I'm gonna be spending that and then top my train ticket and whatever else I gotta do.
Right.
I can't do that.
Yep.
Can't do it. Can't do
Yeah,
it.
looking at overall cost. What's the transportation cost from Detroit? What's the transportation cost from Port Huron?
Oh, when I
Yeah, it's
came
like
from
it's like
Pontiac,
60.
it cost me $96 round trip.
Ooh,
Yeah,
That's
of course,
cheaper
for
than
somebody
me.
like Shirley, it's over $100
Right.
just for the train.
Mm-hmm.
On a different note, there is a beautiful orange bird in the tree outside my window right now.
Is it singing to
Okay.
you?
Yes, Kathy.
He hasn't shifted. I think he's probably an oriole, but I know there's some
Orioles are
warblers that are
black and
orange also.
Hmm.
So I just thought I'd mention that.
Is he singing to you?
Yeah, good for you.
He might be singing, but the window's closed, so I can't hear him.
Aw.
Aw.
So,
Mm.
well, speaking of birds, a lot of you might have met Donna or know Donna Posant from Dearborn.
Yeah.
And she has really gone great guns doing her birding by ear and beyond um, class, I guess, or weekend. She's actually doing a weekend, and I can't remember. I think might be in May, at the outdoor center where we do winter camp.
Oh, really?
And
Oh.
and I'm not sure exactly what the information is on that, but I know that when that was one of the reasons she came to winter camp, which she really enjoyed, just being a camper.
Mhm.
She said she really enjoyed just coming and being a camper and not having to, be the host or the organizer or whatever. But part of that was to check out the facilities and talk with Matthew about finalizing her weekend that's going to be there. And I have no
Okay.
idea. I know I get some of her emails about events that are happening. If I find, I'll contact her and find out. She is on the list for this call. But I know she's always pretty busy doing things on weekends. So, anyway, I'm sure she would probably, if you remember our virtual,
Virtual camp.
When she did the
our
bird.
virtual camp, when
When
she
she
did,
did-
when she
Mhm.
did that birding by ear, how to identify birds, by hearing them. Would you guys be interested in
Interesting.
having her do that again? On one of these sessions?
It
Or,
was
yeah,
crazy.
maybe she can come to
Everybody
camp
was
and be at
talking over
bird
the
cabin.
birds.
Right.
We
Good.
knowing what to expect, we might maybe have a little bit more control over that this time.
Mhm.
Like maybe, although she did ask for us not to mute people, because she wanted it to be interactive, but it got a little bit too interactive, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It did.
Well, Roger, it'd be good if she could come to the camp, and do it up at the bird cabin.
Yeah. Well, I think she thought about doing that. But and I think she sat out like you did the one year,
Yeah, right. She was one of them that sat out.
sat out outside with the raincoat
Yep,
on.
that was fun.
Had the birds land on you with the bird seed.
That was
So,
fun.
but-
I liked
Okay.
that.
But she really enjoyed that. She really enjoyed camp a lot. So, and quite honestly, it was pretty close to, because we had a couple of people at the end that didn't come. We had enough room, but we were close to having every single bed and then some filled on the women's side.
Mhm.
So, and we were close to putting people in the lodge for that reason. But we didn't have to do that, which saved us a little bit of money. But anyway, so I think
Audio now unmuted.
our popularity has reached out. So, it's I think we can look forward to probably having a pretty full session, going forward, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Except for my little trip to the ER.
Right.
Mhm.
But we're going to fix that, by the way. So we're putting in our application. So if anybody, we're putting in our application information that no recreational marijuana substances are allowed on school property and therefore not at camp. And so we're including alcoholic beverages as well. We chose not to, technically tobacco is probably prohibited as well, but that's we've been able to deal with that without too much trouble. But the gummies that the guy had, it was that was over the top, and we don't want that to happen again. So anyway, so we've addressed that with the camp, and they're on board. They were surprised that it happened with our group.
Yeah.
Happen with anybody.
iPhone
Mhm.
2.
Could happen with anybody. So because we did have a lot of new people. We had 20 new campers this year.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it takes a while to learn the ropes, And so we just kind of learned, what we need to do to prevent certain things from happening. And the other thing that we're talking about doing is electronic registration. And Jesse will be involved in this discussion, as well as our new friend, Nick Laskowski.
You just need to let me know, Roger, because I've got it figured out. We just have to make a couple of decisions.
Okay, well, Barry's back, so we'll set up a time to get together soon and start working on that. But anyway, the reason I participated, so Nick Laskowski, so he and his wife Haley were at camp this year.
Oh, I know them, yeah.
If you met them. Nick was a big help from a technical perspective. He's a tech guy, and so he was a big help to Barry, and with a lot of the stuff with Tyrone, Tyrone's equipment and that sort of thing. And so anyway, he runs an event in and some of you have heard about this. We talked about it one day. Michigan Ski for Light.
Okay.
And he is one of the organizers for that event. And so they use an electronic registration system, which was really pretty slick. And, and we still would give people paper applications if they want them, but we're going to encourage people to do electronic registration if they are able to. Okay. We're not like LCI and we're going to say, okay, everything has to be online now.
Yeah,
It's a complicated system.
But we had a lot of people that wanted to register, like do online registration. So we sent out our application, which is in Word, and people can type into it, but it's not the easiest thing, and so anyway, and we do have Venmo, and we have ways to pay electronically, but this would kind of wrap it all up into one thing and we may be working through the Clear Lake Lions website. I'm not sure yet, but we just have to talk about that. So we'll have more information on that probably in the next month or two. So
what's his name again?
Nick Laskowski.
Nick. L.
Okay. Laskowski.
No extra letters?
Nope.
Sorry.
But he lives over in Bay City, so he's probably gonna have a table at the state convention for the Michigan Ski for Light, which was a fun event. It's cross country skiing, and they have a guide for every skier. They have they get students, they recruit students out of Grand Valley University, and And then they have I think they have some high school students that come up and help with this, but it's been going on for almost 50 years
That's
as
been
well.
going on forever because we have a Vikings club here in Muskegon, and they were doing a ski for light until we didn't have enough snow to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, this was the oldest. I think this is the oldest Michigan chapter in the state. So, but anyway, they but I had fun. It's up near Roscommon, Michigan, and so they actually Nick and Haley are at I think it's either E1 or E2 Lions Convention up at Gaylord this weekend with the Michigan Ski for Light, trying to recruit some more Lions folks up there to kind of help out with that. My job basically was to help them pack up all the skis at the end of the event, because I didn't go until like Saturday afternoon, and I spent the night there. But when you talk about cost, this is an expensive proposition, because it was probably over $200 to, at least for me, to attend as a volunteer.
Whoa.
And essentially that covered,
Wow.
because they don't have a foundation. They don't have a bunch of Lions clubs, putting money into it.
To help.
That essentially covers the meals and the lodging, which is at this Robert A. McMullen Convention Center, whatever they call it. And David, you're familiar with that, right? You're familiar with the location.
Yeah, because you told me about it, because I tried to come up to it, but I couldn't, because we were having some snowmobile problems. We were at our cabin in Houghton Lake that same weekend.
So it is always the Martin Luther King weekend in January. So it's the whatever those days are. It's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Friday,
mid-January, yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday is like a non-working day for most people. And
Right.
so it's always that weekend in case they have issues and people get stuck there or something and need to be able to have time to get back to wherever they're from. But anyway, but they have like simple areas where you can cross country ski, and then like I say, they have a guide for every skier that's skiing. So
yep.
And that person gets assigned at the beginning of the event and then stays with that person as a human guide throughout the weekend. So it's kind of cool. They have a nice setup, and it's I'm not a cross country skier really, but you have that opportunity. And I think they charge $25 for ski rental, possibly. So anyway, so it's not a cheap thing, but it was, as a volunteer, it was fun. And I met some new Lions up in Roscommon. So
hey, I thought we were talking about spring activities.
Okay.
Well, I know when we were doing it here, it was a lot of fun, and we had one-on-one, guides. In fact, I had been a downhill skier when we lived in Salt Lake, and then when I moved here, I learned to do the cross country. I even still have my own cross country skis, because I used to bring them to camp when we used to do cross country back in the day when it had snow.
Right.
But the Vikings, just like other groups, are shrinking because new people aren't coming into the organization, just like a lot of other groups are. They're dwindling.
Right. So what's a Viking? Is it
it's somebody who is Scandinavian?
Oh, okay.
Scandinavian heritage.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're called Vikings, because
I see.
They're from that part of the world, and people who are joined have to have a Scandinavian descent.
I see. I was in a motorcycle club called the Vikings one time. So
no. No.
That's another story that I won't get into. But so who else has a favorite spring activity that they want to tell us about?
I actually have one that I've been doing lately. My brother, this is his last season. He plays college baseball for Lawrence Tech. So I've been watching some of his games. A couple were in Ohio, and the last 2 regular season games are this Sunday at Jimmy John's. And because it's been so nice, I got a little burnt because I was getting a little too much sun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta
I mean,
watch
not
that
nice if
sun.
you burn too bad, but
Right.
Gotta watch the sun.
don't stare into the sun.
Well, I just found out. I just went to the dermatologist and found out I have some sort of like spots on my head and my face from too much sun exposure. So,
Oh, that's not
so
good.
I was sad to find that out.
Well, are they pre-cancer or something? Or
She called it precancerous something. So
oh,
I have to go back in a couple of months to check them out. But they freeze them. They take liquid nitrogen and they spray it on the spot, and it's weird. Very strange.
It's not
Does
fun.
a
I
freeze
had some-
burn, yeah.
or sorry. I had some warts that they had to freeze.
Didn't
yeah.
hurt. It's just a very odd sensation.
Yeah.
My dad has sunspots. He gets something removed every 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
He's had a lot of surgeries, skin surgeries.
Well, you got to stay on top of that stuff, otherwise it can get really bad. So
Did they lance one off and send it to the lab? Roger.
no, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So anyway, who's next? Spring activities. Favorite spring
I think we
activity.
should hear from Marion. Marion's been really quiet today.
Marion's
How
on.
you doing? I just came on.
Hi, Marion.
Just came on. Hi
Marion.
everybody. I got my daughter with me, and that's spring right there. She's been helping a lot. We just got through an inspection, but I don't have any spring activities. It's just that sometimes when it's warm, I go out. We and some friends go out and barbecue here on the patio, and we have a great time. And up until the night till they run us off, So, but other than that, everything is okay. Oh, can I say something else?
Sure.
Don said Judy's doing pretty good. She's standing now. For one while she couldn't walk, but she's standing now. She's getting some therapy. And today is her birthday, and they're celebrating her birthday today at home. She's not at home. She's with her niece.
Judy's
they brought
birthday
her down. Is today. So,
nice.
So they're celebrating her birthday together. So that's why he's not on the phone. So but he did tell everybody hello.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
So is she out of the rehab facility?
Question. Is she home?
No, she's not at home. She's at home this weekend, but she's up with her niece so she can get therapy up there towards the Grand Rapids where she at.
Oh, okay.
Holland. You're in Holland.
So is she
No, I don't
21
think that's
today?
her. I forgot where. It's right outside of Grand Rapids where she lives.
Oh, right.
The niece does. So today is her birthday. So they're celebrating her birthday at their house in Hazel Park, and then the niece will be driving her back up tomorrow. But
You know how old she is?
Everybody hi.
How old is she?
She's 74 because her and I are born the same year, and I'll be 74 in November. She's 74 today.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And
We
she and I are
getting
the same too for right now.
We getting old, so hey, but it's a lot of fun, So, but she told me to tell everybody hello, so that's the reason why Don is not with us today.
Well, give them our regards when you talk to them, Marion.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
sure will. And keep
I'm sorry,
praying
too.
for her. Yeah, and keep praying for her too.
Yep.
So
Takes a while to heal.
But that's all I got to say. Thank you for the recognition. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
Let's
telling us.
see.
Well,
How about
Muriel.
William?
Have we heard from
Muriel or
Muriel?
William?
I'm here.
No.
Hey, William, what you up to?
I'm just sitting here listening to everybody, thinking of some thoughts what we could do for oh, what is it, winter camp. Roger said something about him and I kind of like doing a charity event about shaving. I'm,
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me of that.
Get
yes,
that on the schedule for state convention. I'm
yeah,
sure you got
because-
enough to shave off by the time convention comes around next month.
Well, I don't know. I can go back on video and you can tell me.
Well, this is what mine looks like.
There you go.
It's about as big
Hey.
as Roger's.
See, Rogers is even bigger.
Look at
Get
that.
yourself on the agenda. Get a hold of that council chair who lives close by you.
Yeah, what about his just a little bit more bushier than mine?
Yeah.
But you're supposed to give it a little bit of time so you can raise money towards it.
I
You know?
am. I'm not
Exactly.
shit, everybody goes, when you taking it off, I says, I'm not. I says, we're gonna do a charity event maybe. So.
When I
You
saw
know.
one before where the guy got his head shaved, it was just a live auction.
Oh really?
Live contributions, yeah. I think he
Well,
may have done some
I'll send a note to what's her name, Terry
yeah.
or Wendy. I'm sure they've got it all planned out. But yeah, who was that guy? Bill Botter? Is one of the guys that had really long hair, I thought.
Oh,
Somebody
I don't
in-
know. The one that I saw was like in Muskegon back
Oh,
at a
okay. I think I saw
C1
one-
convention years ago.
I did see a Boy Scout guy raise some money doing that stuff. So yeah, he had a beard and he was totally nothing. He had long hair and a beard and he had nothing left when they were done with him.
I bet he
I
felt
think-
lighter.
I think part of it is the high bidder gets to like do the first shave or something like that. You know, they get to get the first bite. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I hadn't got my head quite around that. So
It wouldn't
I've been
take
working
much
on this. I've been working on this for a couple of years, you know. So
Roger, you could dye your hair. That's an option.
well, that's true.
Ooh.
Yeah, but there's not much of that. There's not much of
High
that.
bidder gets to pick the color.
Yes.
Get a whole bunch of teenagers to bid on it.
Get the Leos. Get the Leos.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Dye
right.
the
Well,
beard. That'd be pretty good.
who else has a spring activity that they are looking forward to?
I
How
have
about you,
one.
Renee? Go ahead.
Well, I do it all year round, but I think spring is my favorite season. And so one thing I really enjoy is just walking in the park
Mm-hmm.
because it's,
Mm.
you know, in the winter, I still walk, but I have like 3 layers on. And in the summer, I don't like sweating and the humidity's so high that you're like tired before you get started. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So on the nice weather that we've been having is like perfect.
And all the beautiful colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's really amazing how quickly things have come out. You know, like the trees have budded out like just
Yeah.
the last week and a half or so, it seems like.
Yeah.
And
Everything's popping.
the dogwoods have turned purple and pink and all that.
The magnolias are all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't live down south. There are a lot of magnolias up here up north. I don't see too
There's a
many.
few. Yeah.
In our subdivision, there's quite a few.
Okay.
Problem is they usually only bloom for a week and then you end up with a whole pile
Yeah.
of crap in your
Same
yard.
thing. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we should run through the attendance list just so everybody knows who was on today. So we had Kathy, that myself, Art and Johnsy, or Art anyway.
Yeah.
We
He's
have
watching
Renee
television.
Nicholson, William Miller, Marion Ward, Shirley Katzenberger, and Shar Rendell,
Mhm.
David, David Sterneman, Marcia Katona, and Marcia, welcome. Glad you came today. Renee Nicholson, Linda Brown, Muriel Walters, Jesse and Kristen, and Rose Marie. Anybody that I missed?
I think you got everybody.
It's been a good crowd. Been a good crowd. Anybody not get to talk about a spring activity that they wanted or something else that they plan to do this summer?
Anybody going on vacation?
What's that?
I don't know. This
Our
is my
vacation-
busy
our
season. I don't go on
vacation-
vacation in the summer. I work.
Our vacation will be enjoying a new part of the house, but we may have short trips, short road trips. I don't know. Probably down
New
south.
part of the house. Did you put on an addition?
We finished half the basement. We finished like Wednesday. It's been like a year-long deal.
After he
Okay.
flooded the basement last year.
I will take responsibility for the basement flooding, even though it really wasn't my fault.
Well, all I can say is I don't do vacations anymore because all of my family is gone, so there's no place to go.
Well, you can visit one of our camps or one of our
Well,
campers.
I come visit, winter camp and do our summer camp. That's good enough. Because my parents used to live in Florida and they're both gone. And I had a good friend that lived in New York that I used to visit. She was my roommate from college, and I'd visit her every year and fly out there. And since everybody is gone now, there's really nobody to go to. So I just stay home.
It's a good thing people come to see you at summer camp.
Well, yeah.
What's the dates
And
on
winter
that?
camp.
Summer camp. What are the dates?
Oh gosh,
August.
It's the second weekend in August. I don't have the dates right offhand, but I did that at
Hang on.
winter camp, and now I forgot because we're going to be looking at doing
Yes.
summer camp stuff probably next month. We'll
Oh,
be
I've
getting
got
everything together.
I've got 8, 9, and 10.
Yep, that's right. That's correct. 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we'll probably be sending out applications in June for that. So
I've got to get
Not
my
too-
list of campers over to Danae.
okay, that would be helpful.
So
Yep.
I'll do that. I keep getting distracted and forget to do things. So
Well, I understand that.
well, I'm going to go. I get to take a train trip out to Minneapolis this summer.
Wow.
End of June, actually. We have a friend that moved out there 2 years ago, and so you can take a train. Well, we're going to take the South Shore line up to Union Station, and then there's a direct train that goes just to Minneapolis. It goes from Chicago to Minneapolis every day. And so it's about a 7-hour trip, I guess, up there. So we're going to try that, see how that is. Go up north into northern Minneapolis, or northern Minnesota. We were gonna, I can't think of the name of the town, but anyway, so it should be fun. But we haven't taken a vacation for a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, going on a train with a guide dog, we can't do that because there's not enough time for stops to do
Oh,
relief
right.
for the dog.
Right.
I don't have any problems when I take the train to Nebraska from Pontiac here. If we
Yeah,
gotta
right.
pull over for a freight train, they'll come and ask me if I need to take my dog off, and use the restroom for, if we're gonna be there more than 15 minutes. I've never had a problem. I've been
Well,
to
our,
Texas.
I've
I've
always
been-
been advised by our school to not do that. Same thing with bus trips. If it's going to be a long bus trip, not to do that either. So that's why if I travel anywhere, I usually fly. It's easier.
Yeah, I think it depends on the dog too.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
Even just regular dogs. Some people say they have to let their dog out, every couple of hours, but that's because they're at home all day. But if you're a working person, that dog gets used to having a bladder that's good for 10 hours.
Mhm.
Well, I've never had a problem with the train, and I've been to, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and, Nebraska, and then just passing through Indiana, Illinois, and back to Michigan. And they've always asked me if I need to take my dog off, for a quick potty break.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's great they do
Well,
that.
that's great, but like I said, most of the schools would, advise you not to do that, because it's not always consistent. So
Yeah.
I've never done it with a dog, and
Considering Amtrak.
I've always had dogs from like 75 until now, and Scuba's just turned 8, so I don't know if I'll get another one once he's retired. So we'll see.
Hey, William, are there any leader dog events coming up that we should know about?
The only thing coming up is Cars and Coffee starting June 8th, I believe. And then we got Bark and Brew the first Saturday. No, the 8th, Bark and Brew is June 8th. And then the following weekend is Cars and Coffee at Later Dog. And the other ones in August, and the big ones towards the end of August. So we got 3 events coming up with Cars and Coffee with Leader Dogs.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well, we're getting towards time here. Does anybody have anything else?
That? What happened? What's Cars and Coffee about?
I belong to a group of Corvette owners. It's called the GMC Corvette Set. And they all have 5, 6, 7, 8 cars stashed in garages, this, that, and all the other. And they sponsor Leader Dog with doing charity events like Cars and Coffee. What they make, what they take in, they give the Leader Dog, and they've been part of the Leader Dog sponsorship for the last, I'm going to say since 1976, and all the money that they've gotten for their Cars and Coffee have all gone to Leader Dog, and they've raised over $358,000 so far.
Wow.
How many years?
Since 1976 to now. So it's almost 20 years, 19 years.
Okay.
More than that.
Wait,
Amazing.
1996 or 76?
76.
76.
70.
This is
You
Marcia.
said
That's over
19
40
years.
Almost 50 years.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yes.
Marcia. Go ahead.
Leader Dog, also the Library for the Blind in Rochester, Leader Dog hosts it, but they're gonna have another, what do you call those? Will they
Vendor
have-
fair?
Yeah, well, it's not, but on the 24th of September, there'll be vendors, and then they'll have speakers for the blind and visually impaired.
Is that the Rochester
Where's this
Library?
at?
That is in Rochester at the Leader Dog
Oh, at the campus. Okay.
on their campus. Yes.
Is it on a Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I can never go.
It's 49 years, guys.
But I didn't.
Nice.
A lot of people, some camps go and promote whatever they're doing and different vendors.
And that's
Yeah,
the
I do
event.
blind bowling between September and end of April, so that's my commitment every Wednesday.
Uh-huh. And where's that at?
We bowl at Fraser Star Lanes.
Yeah. I think Frank goes to that. Okay.
Yes, he is on my team.
Hey, what a small world.
Yeah.
Really?
Another event coming up is Visions 2025, I guess it would be in June.
Yes, June 4th. Are you gonna be there?
I don't know. That's my wife's birthday. So
'Cause last year when I was there, I was looking for you and I was asking around, and
I think I was there, but I wasn't set up as a table. I didn't have a
Yeah.
table there. So I attended the event, but I didn't have a table.
oh, okay.
And I think I may be too late to do it now even too, because they send you the note about like in early March, late February. And I think last year I called them. They said, "Oh, sorry, you're too late." So I
You
may
got to
check
get on
with
that,
again.
Roger.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I went to the NFB convention, National Federation of the Blind convention, and like now they didn't all come, but we probably had 10 people that were interested in coming to winter camp. And
Really? Wow.
several of those people came and pretty well filled us up. So somebody said, are you trying to get more campers? I was like, well, we could only hold so many, and so that's, I mean, we didn't have to disappoint anybody by turning them away, but we were kind of at that point this year. So we were close. But anyway, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Because every
so-
time I go to Visions, I look for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, looks like the party's broken up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go,
Okay.
but I appreciate
all
everybody
good,
coming
though.
in today.
Yeah, I gotta go too. We're gonna go too here and finish our various projects. So good to see everybody.
Okay.
Hey,
Then I
Bye.
wanted to make
Bye, Kristen.
Bye,
one
Bye,
comment
y'all.
over on that my sister is in the process of dying, and I came directly from her house to online. And
I'm sorry.
the hospice folk gave her 24 hours yesterday, but her numbers are up today. So I was over there spending time with her, and so we
Good.
Well,
that's
prayers for
part of
you,
the reason I was
kiddo.
quiet today.
Sorry to hear that, Art. That's
She's
a
been the
tough-
hub of the
Sorry.
family for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, my middle sister died younger, and she kind of helped adopt my other sister's two children, and she was spent a lot of time with our kids. She probably was in more emergency rooms with our son, who's has asthma, and he had more attacks in more places. And because my wife and I are always ministers, and on Sunday morning we had to be back in Michigan, wherever our churches were, and so she took them places. And so anyway, but
That's cool.
the family is
Gonna
pretty
miss
well
her.
together at this point.
Well, prayers go out to you, Art, for all that and
Yeah.
to the family.
Condolences.
Yeah, that's hard. That's very hard.
There is.
We'll keep you in our prayers, Art.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. See everybody later. Have a good day.
All right, everybody
You
have a good
too.
day.
Okay.
Talk to you
Thank you,
soon. next
Kathy.
week.
I'll call you later.
Yeah.
William Miller has end meeting or leave. Give feedback check. Rosemary has left the meeting alert.
Okay, we're all through now?
Kathy, are you still there?
I am. Let me stop the recording a second, unless you want to be recorded with your question.
Stop it.